and carve that 45 minutes or so only to yourself. Any thought that comes in, thank it and tell it to come back later. Any to do can wait 45 minutes. And as you let your body sink into the floor and into the mat, notice which gives in and which doesn't want to give in. And think how everything in the world has a breath of expansion and contraction. Expansion and contraction. Expansion so every cell in your body expands and contracts. Every muscle fiber, even as you just lay there and breathe, expands and contracts. The fascia, the wrapping around the muscles, has the ability to expand and contract. Even the density of the bones has an inner breath to it. See how much you can get into that sensation. And either with your eyes closed or open, whichever you want to start with, move your eyes to your right and feel how they're rolling in your head towards the right side and come back. Just go back and forth from looking up towards the ceiling to rolling the eyes in their orbit to the right and coming back. And last week we read about sensing and feeling. And ask yourself, what am I feeling inside my head as my eyes roll to the right? And what am I sensing? Is there heaviness? Is there warmth? Is there an expansion? Is my ear responding to my eye rolling? Is my neck muscles responding? Is my jaw responding? How are you holding your lower jaw versus in relationship to your upper jaw? The lower jaw, the mandible, is movable. Is it hanging loose? What is your tongue doing when your eyes are rolling? And if your eyes are open, shut them, and if they are closed, open them. And do the same thing to the right with your eyes, and see the difference between eyes closed to eyes open. And cease from moving the eyes. Let them relax. And compare between the aliveness of the right eye to the left eye. The sensations in the right side of your face, your head, your hair, your neck, your shoulder, on the right side versus the left side. And by the way, the legs can be either standing or laying flat, whichever is more comfortable for you at this point. And now again, with the eyes either closed or open, lift the eye up towards the top of your head, both eyes, and bring them back to center, and going up and back to center. And try not to strain the eye. Roll the eyeball in the socket. An image that works for me is like feeling like I'm laying in a pool on the water and I'm supporting. So the eyeball is the pool and it has liquid that supports the ball of the eye. As you're rolling it up towards inside your head and back into the center. Notice if anything in your body is straining as you're doing it, and see if you can let go the strain and find ease. As you're rolling the eyeball, does anything else respond? Is there movement in your neck? Are you starting to arch your neck? Just enough to allow that rolling upwards. And if you have your eyes shut, open them, and if you have them open, shut them, and continue rolling the eyeball up. And notice how much you see, and if the eye movement is smooth or jumpy. Go ahead and open your eyes if your eyes are shut, and roll them again up and down. And notice if the movement in the neck is clear, and do you feel a movement in your lower back, in your waist area? As the eye roll up, does your lumbar flatten and your head curves? And let go and just rest. So the spinal column starts all the way up at the base of the head, and any movement of the eyes should, in a good organized body, create a reflection in the neck and the lumbar and the hip. And see if we can bring it into our awareness and into existence again. As slight as it is. Just lie for a minute and notice how your right side feels and how your left side feels. And you don't have to translate it into words, but you can just feel it, sense it. And next we're going to take the eyes, with the eyes open, let's all do it together. With the eyes closed, so shut your eyes, and roll the eyeball up, and then roll it to the ear. And roll it back up to the top, inside the head, and bring the eyeball back to center. And again, roll the eyeballs up inside your head, looking above you to the top of your hair, from inside your head, and roll it towards the right side, to the right ear. So there is an arc inside your head as the eyeball comes down towards your ear. And then the eye is coming up again, inside the head, to the top, to the crown, and roll it back to center. And do it in your own tempo. But make sure that you roll up, that you arc towards the right ear, and then on the way back. And as the eye is moving, see how much of your body is participating. And again, it does not have to be in an outside movement. It can be an internal movement. So it's a real luxury to be able to just lay down there and pay attention to such minute detail. When your eye is getting closer to your ear, is your pelvis getting closer to your ribs? Is your heel on the right side? Is your leg lengthening and shortening? Maybe less than 1/16 of an inch. Maybe it's just a feeling. Is your breath part of the movement? In what way? And when you come back, rest for a minute. And from being completely internal, we're going to open the eyes. And now we have the vision. So we're a little bit more external. And roll the eyes up towards the crown of your head. And roll the eyes inside your head, inside the orbit, slowly down towards the right ear. Is your whole right side becoming like an accordion, shrinking a little bit on that side? And is there an expansion? Remember, we started the class with contraction and expansion. Can you sense that? How clear is the way up into the head and arcing down towards the ear? Can you massage your head from the inside? Is the liquid in your eye orbit smooth? Maybe it's more dense than water, more liquid than honey. Something that's really supporting your eyeball. Are you looking? Or are you listening? And let's do it one more time. And when you're done, rest your eyes, rest your head, rest your ear, rest your arm, rest your shoulder, rest your whole right side, and rest your whole left side. How are you being in your right side of the body versus your left side of the body? Is there a vague difference? Is a considerable difference? Does it have a weight differences? Lightness differences? Density differences? Is your right ear warmer than your left ear? If you had to describe it with words to somebody, laying down and not moving and having so much movement inside, what would be the first noticeable thing to say? And let it all go. And roll to the side and come to a sitting position. Take your time. Anything like, can you say anything about the differences? What does it feel like, or what does it, the sensation is?
My head wants to follow my eyes.
You want to go into the right, follow
Mhm.
the right, yeah.
It felt heavier, kind of denser.
Denser
Yeah.
on the right?
Mm-hmm.
I did too.
Yeah, there's a
Denser on the
definite
right.
difference between one side and the other.
Uh-huh. Okay. Let's try to work with the left side different, and then we'll compare. So, if you're okay sitting like this, sit like this. If you're not, you can take a chair or lean towards something, but if you're okay sitting like this, we're gonna sit here for, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes. So go ahead and shut your eyes. And imagine that there is a window in front of you. Maybe you're up north, looking outside, a snowy day or a rainy day, and your nose is kind of almost touching the window sill, the window pane, the window itself, the glass. And your nose is going to start arcing towards the left, making a mark on the window. You know, when it's really cold and you touch and you can create like you can draw something with your finger, we're going to do it with the nose. We're going to create a little arc, bringing the head a little bit to the left, getting closer to the ear or to the shoulder, and bringing the head back in towards the center. So we're doing the same movement that we did with the eyeball. We're doing now drawing a little arc from 12 to 11 on the window. Everybody has their window? So it's a very small movement. Your nose is the one that's drawing it. So open your eyes for a minute. Open your eyes for a minute. I'm not asking you to tilt your head. Never said the word tilt your head. I said your nose is touching the window and you're still touching the window. So your tip of your nose cannot leave the window. So you can only go from 12 to 11. The size of what the eyes did inside the head going towards the ear. So with your eyes shut, see how many sensations, how many places do you feel inside your head. Are you aware of the wetness of the tip of your nose on the cold window? Are you aware of the jaw joint on the left as the head is being tilted a little bit? Is any of part of you tensing up? Can you do less so it's just joyful? Are your nostrils responding to the wetness and cold on the windowsill? Does the ear get the same sensation that happened when you worked with the eyeballs? And come to the center, and now open your eyes and do it with your eyes open. Do you need a chair? So the eyes are open. So now you have the nose and the eyes. So the rain or the snow still going vertically down, but the eyes are moving into a diagonal. You know, all those little things that we take for granted, that we process for years without even paying attention to. But how does it affect your equilibrium? And come back to the center and rest for a minute. And get a sensation of what happens on the left side. And we're going to take a sponge, you know, like the old sponges that we clean ourselves, and we're going to dip it in a color, your favorite color. And once you have it, put it on your forehead. And it's a little thicker, so it's a little thicker than the length of your nose. And now we're going to draw an arc on the windowsill with that sponge. Remember, it has a color. And you don't want to move away from the window. You want a sponge to touch the window at all times.
Moving which way?
Just to the from center to the left.
To the left, okay.
Yeah, we did the right. Now we're doing the same movement that we did to the right. We're doing it to the left, but we have different images. The eye is inside the head. The nose and the sponge are outside of the head. Instead of having the pool with a nice warm liquid that supports you inside the eye orbit, you have a snow or rain and cold windows glass to draw on. Are your eyes closed or open? Which one gives you a better way inside to knowing yourself better? When we did it on the right, as we progressed, we felt the neck responding, we felt the ribs responding, we felt the hip responding. Do you sense it now? Are your ribs on the left side getting closer to one another and opening as the sponge is painting the windowsill in a little arc. And if your eyes are open, close them, and if they're closed, if they're open, close them, and see if it changes the quality, the tempo. Are you become aware of different body parts participating? Are you able to go deeper inside your body when your eyes are closed or open? For me it's closed and more internally aware. And come back to the center and observe yourself for a second or two. And open your eyes. And now we're going to take the sponge. You can dip it again in a color, and we're going to put the sponge on our head, on the crown of our head. So go ahead and internally put it on the top of your head. And now we have the window as a ceiling. Rather than in front of us, the window is above us. And decide on how tall the sponge is. And we are going to touch with the sponge up on that glass above us, and we're going to draw an arc to the left and come back. And the glass is just itsy bitsy above the sponge, so you have to have some kind of an expansion of your neck vertebrae, maybe even more, to reach so you can draw the arc. So when you lift yourself internally to reach that glass and do the arc, which vertebrae are responding to your breath, to your intentions? And which vertebrae are still not in your awareness and in your picture of yourself? And can you summon them? Can you invite them? Whether it's on your right side or on your left side. And without effort. It's an expansion of a breath, it's an expansion of intention. And come back to the center and rest. And now we're going to have a glass sitting next to the left ear, and the sponge will be stuck onto the ear, and we're going to go forward and back, drawing an arc on the window. The window is right here on the left, and the sponge is going to paint that window. So again, it's on the outside of us. Are your ribs moving with you? Are your eyes moving with you? The eyes are super important for us. They allow us to see 360 degrees around ourselves. Where are your eyes focusing? Internally or externally onto the window that's on your on the side of your left ear? Can you feel the connection between the muscle that moves the eyes to the muscle that moves the head, to the muscle that moves the neck, to the muscle that moves your spine? Many classes I play with differentiation and making things move in oppositions to one another. But today I just want us to be able to sense deep inside the body how it's all working together. How it's a concert, that every part of the music makes the whole be what it is. It's not just one player. It's not just one instrument. And come back to the center. And I realized we did not do that movement on the right. So let's do it in sitting. And we're going to take the eyeball in the eye socket on the right side and move it to the left. And we're going to roll it back inside the head towards the ear and beyond, but without stress. So the eyeball is rolling inside that pool with a nice, soft, comfortable supporting liquid. And are the eyes taking the head with it? Can you move the eyes without straining them? And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them and see if you can roll the eyes as they're looking. And how does that change the experience? Are your eyes looking at the horizon? Or are they looking down? Or are they looking up? A good eye movement would be a smooth, parallel to the floor, without jumps. What are your eye movement is doing? Without judgment, just notice. And continue all the way to the left, looking all the way towards your left shoulder, but the height of the horizon, and all the way through the center to the right. So you're like scouting the way. And try it with your eyes closed and try it with your eyes open. And see if you can connect all the way through your spine and the ribs and the hip and your shoulders. Can you call all body parts to be part of the rotating of the head and the looking of the eyes? The image that comes to mind is like I'm on a little boat in the mid-ocean and I need to see what's around me.
Okay, yes.
How far can I see? And can I see further when I include? And when you're ready, come to the center and maybe lie down to see what it feels like being on the floor and rolling your head from side to side. So now you have the floor that doesn't really allow the rotation that we had sitting up. But can you still sense the connection? And when you're turning your head to the right, your left leg is lengthening and your right leg is shortening. And when you turn your head to the left, your left leg will shorten a little bit and your right leg will lengthen a little bit, to allow place for the ribs to move. And it's small, but it's just enough to give yourself a little bit further comfort in the rotation. When your head is turned to the left, do you feel your right shoulder hovering off the floor? When you turn your head to the right, do you feel your left shoulder hovering over the floor? And come back to the center and just let everything just rest. And ask yourself, which one did your body feels more comfortable with? The work that we did on the right, which was with the eye and more internal, or the left side that we did more external with a cold, wintry glass in front of us, above us, on the side of us. And when you're ready, roll to a side and come to a sitting.